I've inspected this sacrificial animal's liver, and I can confirm that today is going to be a wonderful day. So, moving on from that, this is my introduction to stage 22 of Unit 3 of the Cambridge Latin course. Here we start with a thief in the town of Aquaesulis at the baths. A thief, what will he do? Read pages 22 and 23 to find out. There is a surprise twist on the very final part if we read the amulet. Also, things that you'll need to know for this chapter, take a look at this right there. Ooh, ah, wow. So that is a brooch. And a brooch is like a little pin, sort of. Usually old people wear them, or really fashionable people. The Queen used to wear them a lot. They have like a little pin, and it's just like a giant little decoration or bauble. They would be joined by a chain, if you see on that picture I showed you on page 25. So when you see the word fibula, they're talking about a brooch or this piece of jewelry. So that's a very important point to think about for these stories. Also, the word brooch is spelled B-R-O-O-C-H. So if you're like, what on earth is a brooch? It's a brooch, and it is a type of jewelry piece. Another thing, if you are reading the story Amor Omnia Vincit, notice that it has 3 scenes, or skyna. So if you need to keep an ongoing list of which character is which, that might be helpful since there aren't as many pictures in this specific book as I believe were in the first one. On the first part of Amor Omnia Vincit, they are playing with dice, and there are a few terms that are pretty specific to dice games, so make sure you look out for that. If they're like, I threw a Venus, that's the highest throw in a dice game, or I threw a dog, you'll see in the gloss on the side. Some of those terms will start to make more sense if you double check the sidebar. Always check the sidebar. The side is your best friend. And we have an image of the baths at Bath as they are today. The genitive case, on page 31, we learn about a few different types of genitive case. I would recommend always using the word of when translating the genitive so that you can avoid having to learn the distinctions between all of the partitive genitive or genitive of the whole or genitive of quantity, or these are actually called different terms, or they're given different labels by different books. So just know that the genitive can be used in a few different ways. If you see one that is with a word like plus or nimium, those are the ones that indicate quantity, like if you're saying more of or too much of. So still you'd be using the genitive of with that, or the genitive of, whatever it takes for you to remember what it is. Also, we have curse tablets. So on page 34 and 35, the cultural reading begins and tells us about magic, curses, and superstitions. Some of these are so petty and I love it. It's like reading the comments or like a message board from ancient times. The tablets that have been found were mostly made of bronze or other metals, and some of them even were like rolled up with a nail through it. So if you were like, hey, is this like a happy little message to someone? No. A lot of them start in the same way, and I'm going to give you a format for how to make a curse tablet for the purposes of understanding the structure of how they are formed and what sorts of words are used, terms, hopes, wishes, so that if you're in a museum and you see a curse tablet, you can tell your friends, neighbors, and anyone who will listen about how you know so much about curse tablets because you took Latin, and people who take Latin are amazing. Anyway, stage 22, page 36 is your vocab list. So always, always, always practice vocabulary as much as you can. It will help expand your English vocabulary. It will help you to make connections between words. I can't stress enough how important it is to study vocabulary, because I can teach you, I can tell you things, but I can't know the words for you. I already know them, so it's your job now to know them. I'm always happy to give any sort of advice on different methods of studying and different ways that you could practice to remember as many words as possible. So enjoy stage 22, and I will stop this video there.